It's 9:06, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, Water Filtration Systems, Water Softeners, BetterWater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on TuneIn. We're on the FM dial. You can watch the show on a number of different platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We got a lot to get to today. First and foremost, the 3% growth. Oh, my gosh. I'm driving in. I'm on 24. Not really paying attention to the radio, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Jones doing her newscast, and I was just kind of dazing off. And then I heard Jones say 3%, and damn near snapped my neck. I mean, I was like, wait, what? What? 3%?
Isn't that kind of what President Trump said?
Yeah, people are happy about it. People are very, very happy about it. This is what it sounded like on CNBC when the news broke.
Up 3%. Up 3%. Better than expected. That would be the highest level since the third quarter of 24 when it was up 3.1%. On the consumption side, up 1.4, very close to estimates. Up 1.4 would be the best since the last quarter of 24.
3%, beating estimates. That's good, right? That's good. Now, the reason why I almost crashed the car when I heard Joan say that during her newscast is because my mind immediately went to one Scott Bessent and what he was laughed at for saying. If you remember when we were talking about the big, beautiful bill, Bessent said, guys, if we get to 3% growth with the tariff revenue we have coming in, we're not looking at any debt. This thing is going to pay for itself. And here we are, 3%. You guys remember Scott Bessent saying that, right? What happens if we hit 3%? And he said it quite a number of times, just a bunch of different ways. But this was him on CNBC.
Got it. You have said that this isn't a drag on the deficit, despite the fact that CBO has scored it pretty aggressively, that it will add $1 trillion to our public debt. You've told me before, and you've told everyone that you're a fiscal hawk. So how do you square that? That's a key question, I think, that they're asking on Wall Street.
Yeah, well, I square it with I don't believe in the CBO forecast. So let's just look at common sense and logic that if the bill, for some reason, hadn't passed, we would have had the biggest tax hike in history, and the CBO would say we're going to grow at 1.8%. We're going to make expensing and the force structures and equipment permanent, and we are going to have the biggest tax cut in history, and the CBO is still saying we'll only grow at 1.8%. So if you turn up the growth projections to something like 2.8, 3%, which was achieved during President Trump's first term, then the debt disappears.
Oh, and where are we today? 3% growth. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that weird? It's so weird. Donald Trump said he was going to do something. Scott Bessent said he was going to do something, then they do it. Weird. Promises made, promises kept. Are you paying attention to the stock futures at all, Joan? Have they jumped because of this report?
You know what? They haven't. Stocks are trading higher, but there was an issue with President Trump saying that there's going to be no change. Tomorrow is, I think he calls it Liberation Day. And he assessed a 25% tariff on India.
Yep.
Because India hasn't been a great trading partner and because they keep on buying stuff from Russia.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of news online, people saying that another reason the stock futures aren't really responding to the GDP stuff as good news is because there's still a 0% chance of a rate cut today.
That is true.
And then there's probably a 0% chance of a rate cut in September.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't have the next GDP readout before then, so no reason to cut. So it seems like we're looking at late October as the first chance for any kind of rate cut.
Perhaps, yes.
Which seems absolutely ridiculous.
Insane.
They should have done this a long time ago. And it would pour absolute accelerant on the economy. I mean, we'd be rocking, but they don't want to do that. It's political at this point, right? Can we all agree that it's political? Jerome Powell and Donald Trump. I mean, CNBC, Fox Business, everybody's reporting this, but Fox Business, they said it's not just the 3% beating the estimates of, what was it, like 2.6. It's also the fact that the price index, which is a measure of inflation, is only at 2%, which is lower than what they predicted there. So it's not just that we're beating expectations on growth, we're also beating expectations on inflation. So you would think that would be good, right? And that Jerome Powell would want to cut the rates? I don't know.
Again, GDP, this is the first read of the second quarter coming in at 3%. That is better than expected, 2.4%. I want to bring in Adam Johnson. Markets are certainly watching this right now.
Yeah, Goldilocks, because I would add to that, Cheryl, that the GDP price index was only 2%, and the expectation was 2.2. In other words, we have an economy growing at, what do you say, 3%. We have inflation at 2%. That's the best of both worlds. So I'm very positive on that report, at least in the moment.
Oh, very positive on the report, at least in the moment. Fox Business reports best of both worlds, 3% growth, 2% inflation, both beating predictions. Don't worry, though. Trump is going to crash the economy in no time. All this good news just means there's a recession around the corner. And if we get into a recession, then it's going to be a Great Depression. You know whose fault it's going to be? It's going to be Trump's. So don't worry. Don't worry. At the end of the day, Trump will ruin this. Yeah, guaranteed. CNBC was actually roasting Democrats and the like because of the classic talking points that we get from Democrats like Elizabeth Warren, and they were going in because all these politicians, all they do is talk trash on Trump. And CNBC, I think, is the only reasonable NBC property when it comes to news. But CNBC's like, when are they going to stop this kind of nonsense?
The left and people that don't like the president and don't want things to work. And, like Senator Elizabeth Warren will come on and say, inflation's out of control and the economy is getting killed by what's happening by these tariffs. This 3% with the market at new highs, and really we haven't seen inflation, go up back to 3%. Maybe it will this week. Maybe we'll see it. But none of these horrible things have happened, but they still talk like it's happening. It's amazing.
Well, there's an important lesson there. Don't pick a congressman to be your money manager. That's what I would say. But in the end, Congress has their own reasons to point out certain things. And the Democrats, of course, as you pointed out, really don't want to see the current administration have some success. But there's no doubt that this is some success. We're seeing more horsepower. We're seeing better equities. Inflation really hasn't changed much in the last year or so.
So even as all this positive stuff is coming from the Trump economy, you still have Democrats out there actively rooting against America. Because at the end of the day, while they're rooting for Trump to fail, what they're really doing is rooting for you to fail. And what they're really doing is hoping that the economy crashes so that way they can say, aha, we told you so, and they're not worried about any of the collateral damage in the in-between.
You're missing one of the data points.
Tell me.
Private payrolls rose by 104,000 in July. So they were expecting, the forecasters were expecting 64,000. So they rose 104,000. Right. So there's more people being hired as well. I mean,
and
the news is crazy good.
This is also on the back of another record-breaking month in tariffs that we got the news before July even ended. Yeah, another record-breaking month in tariff revenue. But no, Trump's gonna crash the economy. He has no idea what he's doing. He's a madman. It's just insane. We're still waiting for that inflation on the tariffs. Still waiting. August 1st. We got 31 days in July, right? So August 1st, we got 2 days. And come August 1st, 25% tariffs coming for India. It's getting spicy with India. Have you noticed this? It's getting pretty spicy. Donald Trump posting this on True Social. Remember, while India is our friend, we have over the years done relatively little business with them because their tariffs are far too high, among the highest in the world. And they have the most strenuous and obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers of any country. Also, they've always bought a vast majority of their military equipment from Russia and are Russia's largest buyer of energy, along with China, at a time when everyone wants Russia to stop the killing in Ukraine. All things not good, all caps. India will therefore be paying a tariff of 25% plus a penalty for the above starting on August 1st. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, before the left loses their mind, just know that this is what's going to bring people to the negotiating table. This is going to absolutely force India's hand much like he did with the EU. Howard Lutnick was given some insight into the EU deal, and they were talking. Trump said, "Oh, you don't want to do business." So they laughed at us right away. They laughed at us, and Trump said, "Oh, you don't want to do business? Perfect, 50% tariff. Oh, you're talking with us a little bit, 30% tariff. Oh, you're actually negotiating? Cool. We'll get to that 15% tariff." Donald Trump is the best negotiator ever. And I think that's what we're seeing play out in real time with India, especially if you listen to Howard Lutnick break down how they got that EU trade deal done. It's like, oh, yeah, we're actually seeing the same thing happen again now with India. This is Howard Lutnick on the EU trade deal.
Oh, I mean, that's why I have the most fun job in the cabinet. You know, I get to set the table. I mean, I met with the European Union representatives 40 times. And in the beginning, they were basically giving me the middle finger. We were nowhere. They wouldn't even respond to us. And they didn't respond until Donald Trump sent them a letter saying, you know, if you're not going to respond, pay 50%. And then all of a sudden that changed, right? And they started responding. And then he sent them another letter saying, look, you guys are doing a little bit, so 30%. And then, boom, off we went until they offered to open their markets completely, pay us 15%. But the key to why they did that is the sectoral tariffs, the tariffs on autos, the tariffs that are coming on pharmaceuticals, the tariffs that are coming on semiconductors, because Donald Trump is the U.S. is the biggest customer in the world. We were going to take all those industries back to America. And basically what he told Europe, if you want to keep half, you better do a deal with me.
So I think we're seeing the same thing play out in real time with India with these True Social posts. Oh, you're going to buy your military equipment from Russia? You're not going to remove the obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers? Oh, great. Here's what we're going to do. 25% tariff, and you're going to pay a fine on top of that. Whew. Trump is going in, man. And India it's a massive country. A lot of people, a lot of them want to come here via H-1B visas. I heard Dan talking about that earlier. Fantastic segment. If you missed it, they're going to podcast that. Definitely worth a listen. But Trump said he would impose a tariff rate of 25% on India starting on August 1st. This is how Bloomberg reported the news.
This is quite a statement from the President of the United States. It came just moments ago, so if you're just tuning in, I'll share it with you now and read it out verbatim. While India is our friend, we have over the years done relatively little business with them because their tariffs are far too high. The President goes on to say, among the highest in the world, and they have the most strenuous and obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers of any country. Also, and this is the additional point the President makes this morning, they have always bought a vast majority of their military equipment from Russia and are Russia's largest buyer of energy, along with China, at a time when everyone wants Russia to stop the killing in Ukraine. All things not good. India will therefore be paying a tariff of 25% plus a penalty for the above starting on August 1st.
I love the threat. I do. Because what did he get from the EU? Well, he got them to buy a ridiculous amount of military equipment, and he got them to buy a ridiculous amount of energy. And I think that India is going to look at this and be like, oh, that's the blueprint. If we want to smooth things over, let's buy our military equipment from America. If we want to smooth things over, let's buy our energy from America. It seems like it's just a smooth way to execute this thing. I hope India responds.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
And it goes to the heart of how Russia has been an increasing part of his negotiations, trying to tighten the screws there. And really coming as a surprise at a time when a lot of people were expecting the end tariff rate on India to be something around 20 or 19%. So highlighting a change in tone around Russia and a change in tone around what the parameters are of negotiation for some of these new trade agreements.
I think the hardest trade negotiations that we're going to see are going to be with those BRICS nations, right? And India and China, those are two huge dominoes to fall. Jameson Greer, our U.S. trade representative, and Scott Bessent gave an update on the talks that they're having with China yesterday. I'll bring you that audio on the way. A lot more to get to here on the Chris Hand Show. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yes, they were tsunamis, but no, it does not appear that they've done any damage to the U.S. And happening right now, one of Joe Biden's aides is taking questions from Congress members. Got those stories coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. We got Mason Fleming producing. It is 9:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We got a lot to get to. 3% growth. Let's go. The experts said this would never happen. I don't know how much of experts they are. I'm beginning to lose faith in the experts. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. We got some more trade deals that we need to get done. India, China. China? Maybe you've heard of them. Maybe you've heard of them.
China?
We had Scott Bessent yesterday and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer giving an update on the latest round of trade talks with China. China? That's the one. That's the one. This was yesterday. Rapid Response on X posted the clip. Scott Bessent, Jamieson Greer.
Very fulsome 2 days with the Chinese delegation led by Vice Premier Ho Lifeng. It was our third meeting. I'm happy to say that London built on Geneva, Stockholm built on London and Geneva. I think we had great momentum going into the meeting thanks to the president's trade deals. I think that the Chinese were surprised by the magnitude of the Japan deal, by the magnitude and the terms of the European deal. So I think that they're never compliant, but I believe that they were in more of a mood for a wide-ranging discussion. The discussion centered on the two economies. We had a very in-depth report on them on the Chinese economy. We gave a very detailed report on the U.S. economy. We talked about the trade deals that we were doing with other countries. We expressed our concern about Chinese overcapacity globally and what that might mean for this year, for the next few years. We expressed our concern for their purchases of sanctioned Iranian oil, of which they buy about 90%. We also expressed our regret that we believe that they had sold Russia about $15 billion of dual-use technologies. But the overall tone of the meetings was very constructive, and I will pass it over to Ambassador.
Very constructive meeting. China's kind of surprised by the trade deals that we got done with the EU, the trade deals with Japan, and yeah, so were the experts. Nobody believed that Donald Trump could do this except for Donald Trump and his team. We gave China the business. Stop buying oil from Iran. Stop selling dual technologies to Russia. But overall, very positive. That's the latest on the trade talks with China from Scott Bessent. They had more to say on it, and National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett got involved as well. We'll bring you those updates when we get back after the news with Joan Jones, which starts right now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. I want to let you know about a crash. It's on Lebanon Pike and Hermitage, just south of Jacksonian Drive. Careful in that area. In the news, tsunami waves have been hitting the U.S. coast for hours, but as of now, they have been so small that no damage has been recorded. Now, they came from an 8.8 magnitude quake off the coast of Russia. ABC's Alex Stone is in Los Angeles, which had been under an advisory.
In many areas now, like in Hawaii, tsunami warnings have been downgraded and evacuation warnings have been dropped. Early this morning, people began going home. At this point, there is no known damage in the U.S., and there was no massive wave or series of waves like you'd think of in Fukushima in 2011 or in Southeast Asia in 2004. Sensors have picked up some waves of like 4 or 5 feet, but they've been mostly very small. There will be an assessment done in places like Crescent City in far northern California near the Oregon border. That's often prone to tsunami damage in that area because of geography, but so far no damage is being reported anywhere in the U.S.
Then that earthquake is one of the most powerful in recorded history. In the northwest part of Tennessee, police believe the 4 people who were found dead in Lake County are connected to a baby that was left in someone's driveway yesterday in Dyer County. These ladies spotted the drop-off.
But it just breaks my heart. I mean, you know, especially sitting out here in this heat. It said it was 113 degrees. Heat index was 113 when they dropped the baby off at 311.
They called 911. TBI and the FBI are working to identify the 4 victims. Happening now, longtime Democrat operative and counselor to President Joe Biden, Steve Ricchetti, is taking questions from the Oversight Committee. That committee will focus on his key role in managing the White House, while aides reportedly work to obscure signs of the president's mental decline. That is the latest news. We've got your weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. We always talk about the Glock store. Today, you can get a new gun, and most of them are going to come optic ready right out of the box. Glocks call it MOS, Modular Optic System. But what if you bought your Glock before optics were the big thing? I mean, does that mean you're left out or you need to buy a new Glock? Does anybody need an excuse to buy a new Glock? Of course not. Lenny McGill always has your back when it comes to all things Glock. And out of their 16 CNC machines, 3 of them are dedicated to cutting Glock slides to precisely fit the red or green dot optic of your choice. And they can do it for you in less than 10 days. And because you can go to the store to drop it off, sometimes it's a lot less. And unlike optic-ready Glocks, which rely on adapter plates to fit a variety of optics, your optic's going to sit lower, be more secure, and be more accurate. The Glock store has done this for over 20,000 customer slides, and every single one of them has been perfect. These guys are the best. It's the Glock store. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. Always open online, glockstore.com. 9:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water, LLC, Water Filtration Systems, Water Softeners, BetterWater.com. You can listen to the show anywhere, iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV's up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them.
That's all of them.
997 WTN on Rumble. No point. Don't do the point. Throws everything through a loop.
Yeah. We're just numbers here.
We're just numbers. Hey, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you may see what's going on behind me. Mason, do you see what's going on behind me?
I was going to say, you said YouTube TV, and I casually looked up and saw something that's not normal.
Yeah, what's going on behind me? You've noticed that?
What'd you do?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Joan Jones.
Confession.
One second, Joan. You'll have your time. Joan Jones, in a fit of rage this morning, flung this door open, shattering the TV.
Yeah, I could see that.
Shattered it. She treated that the way Mandis treats coffee pots in the break room.
Listen.
She just said,
Listen, I know it doesn't work all the time, but goodness gracious, to break it?
Joan is incredibly angry early in the morning. Not a morning person.
Before my coffee. I mean, come on.
That's what happens.
With all the broken coffee pots, I get it.
The problem is the door. There's many problems. But
There's many
the door would not stay open. So I tried to push it back as far as I could and get that door stopper stuck under there. But I didn't realize the TV's
Wait.
right there.
You were trying to put the door stopper under it.
Yeah.
But the door stopper would have been behind the door.
No, the door stopper is you're making me explain.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out.
So I pushed the door open, right?
Hold on. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, I would open this door here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would come over here. I open this door.
Right. Where's the door stopper?
The door stopper would go on the front side.
Right. Okay. So I'm pushing the door.
So you're pushing the door back.
Right. Trying to put the door stopper in to keep it open.
But where's the door stopper at that point? Is it behind the door or is it in front of the door?
It's right where your hand is.
Okay, so why are you continuing to push the door back to engage the door stopper?
It wouldn't stay. It wouldn't keep the door open.
But you would pull the door towards the door stopper is what I'm saying.
Right.
To wedge it.
Well,
and you decided to push it back. That's not going to wedge it, Joe.
I feel like I'm on trial.
You are.
So, in my humble defense, is there a reason why a TV should be right behind a door handle?
Yes.
No.
It's aesthetic.
It's in the center of the wall.
And how about the little stopper thing that should be at the bottom to stop the door from going too far back?
I thought
makes sense to me.
All right.
It just breaks the aesthetic, like Chris said. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it ruins the whole vibe in here. But now we have a vibe of a broken TV.
I think I need to make a signature, like Joan was here.
The group chat's been jumping this morning. I don't know if you know this. Murphy let us know that he actually lost money on this broken TV. Murphy said that 3 months ago he bet Chris Webber some money that it would be Dan that broke the TV.
Yeah.
See,
so now I helped him lose a little money.
It's like Dan, I don't think has the force to be able to throw it up that much, but it's also left open for him every morning whenever he comes in. So I don't think he would have to push it up.
Force? Is that what you said?
Maybe.
Oh my God, you're terrible.
Well, he obviously needed help with Joan coming in there to do it for him.
Yep. How long do you think until we get a new TV?
Oh, it'll be a while.
And then how long until Joan breaks it again?
If it's not right behind the door, I might wait a couple months.
Let it get settled. Let it have its honeymoon phase, and then bam.
All right. Well, Joan will be back for the headlines, and we'll keep you updated if she breaks anything else.
Besides breaking news.
I love Joan Jones. She's the best. All right. We got a lot of stuff going on the trade front. We have August 1st rapidly approaching. That is going to be the day where the tariffs get slammed down on all the countries that don't want to negotiate. Two big elephants in the room, India and China. Donald Trump taking to True Social this morning saying, guys, India, what are you doing? You're buying too much military equipment from Russia. You're not buying enough energy from America. We could supply you with both of those. And if you don't want to, 25% tariffs heading your way. I do believe that's going to drag India to the negotiating table. We'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell. The experts, they don't know what they're talking about. The other elephant in the room is China. You heard Scott Bessent give an update earlier, just moments ago, and he says, guys, they were actually shocked by the trade deals that we were getting. They were shocked by how good the deals were for America, and we gave them the business on quite a few things. We gave them the business on selling Russia dual technologies. We gave them the business on buying oil from Iran. And you know, while we did give them the business, overall productive talks. Overall, the momentum is good. That's what we got from Scott Bessent. We had great momentum going into the meeting thanks to the president's deals. I don't think the Chinese were surprised. I think that the Chinese were surprised by the magnitude of these deals. Jamison Greer was also with Scott Bessent during these negotiations, and he weighs in on what he saw during these negotiations with China.
The premise of the president's trade program and trade policy, which is to reduce U.S. deficits, increase manufacturing, and reshore our economy. We made sure that they understood that these are the goals of what the president's trying to do. And again, we expressed our satisfaction that many of our major trading partners have come along with this. President von der Leyen on Turnberry on Sunday, when I was there, she specifically mentioned that the U.S.-EU deal is about rebalancing and trying to rectify the giant EU surplus with us. And so we've been happy to be working so constructively with many of our partners. And we had that kind of a discussion with the Chinese as well. And of course, we were here, in the first purpose to confirm the implementation of what was agreed in London in terms of accelerating the flow of rare earth magnets from China to U.S. companies. And then we were able to discuss further how to make sure that the entire U.S. supply chain, including those that go through third countries, could be accelerated.
So you heard Jamison Greer. Good talks. Good talks. Scott Bessent, great talks. Building off of what we did in London and Stockholm, and we're making sure that all the deals that we have in place are being implemented, i.e. the magnets, the rare earth minerals. Sounds pretty good. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett, he had an even rosier interpretation of the meeting with China. And granted, he did say, I'm just judging this based on a readout. This is kind of where he's getting his information from at this time, but he does plan to talk with the president and the administration more in depth today.
How do you see this negotiation with China at this point?
Right. Well, I was given quite a bit of briefing about the ongoing negotiations, and the president is going to get the final briefing from Jamison Greer and Secretary Bessent tomorrow, at which point he's going to see the details of what was negotiated, and he'll make the final call. But I got to say that it was really a heartening readout of what happened. That, as you know, that President Trump and President Xi are very close. But one of the things I've seen is that the Chinese counterparts and Secretary Bessent and Jamison Greer are building a positive working relationship where there are people that they can talk to work things out. And so I think that what we're hearing is a very, very positive meeting, and that we expect that the president's going to be very pleased with things. And of course, him being President Trump, he's going to find things to improve. But if you look back at the history over the last 2 weeks, that we've had the biggest trade deals in American history. We had Japan open up their market to our products, give us more than $500 billion and accept a 50% tariff. And Europe, our largest trading partner, just basically did the same. And so we've got more than $1 trillion of commitments of investment into the U.S. while they're accepting the fact that we have tariffs. Now, I know there's some European countries that are grumbling about that, but the fact is that they gave the authority to negotiate this deal to the EU, and we negotiated with the EU in good faith, and we got a great deal for us. And I'm sure in the end they're going to recognize that it's a great deal for them, too.
So Kevin Hassett, I mean, he's pretty optimistic, and you can understand the optimism. I mean, President Trump was on vacation. He was on vacation in Scotland. And the return on investment from that vacation was $1 trillion. Unbelievable. $1 trillion. For, what was it, a weekend? A weekend in Scotland? He comes home with $1 trillion. Joe Biden would get back from vacation, and he'd be like me. He'd be like, oh, I need a vacation from that vacation. Let's call it lid. It's 9:30. What else do we got to do? Things have changed drastically in this country. Scott Bessent weighing in a little bit more, saying that Chinese officials and the progress in the talks, they've created the framework with several of China's largest trading partners. And he's talking about this on CNBC and saying the framework's there. Now we just have to implement it with China.
I think that everyone can see the arc of where these trade deals are going. I won't say that the Chinese were on their heels because they're very composed. But Vice Premier Hu Feng is a seasoned politician. But it's clear that the momentum was with us. That when you get the EU, the world's largest trading bloc, when you get that deal inked, we had Japan, we had Indonesia, we had Vietnam. So not only did we have the EU, who has a very large trading relationship with China, we also had 3 of their neighbors.
I mean, it's important, too, to point out with Scott Bessent how he's navigating this conversation. You know, momentum's on our side. I wouldn't say China's on its heels. Very respectful. You can understand why he needs to do that. Negotiations are still ongoing. But I predict that we're going to get something good out of this. I think, how could we expect anything else at this point? Now, the experts will say, no. But the experts have been wrong about just about everything up until this point. We got Roger in Lafayette on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up, Raj?
Just painting the ceiling. Listening to you guys tell us the truth.
I love it, man. So you're painting a ceiling. Do you put down do you put down the covering for the carpet and the floor when you paint ceilings?
Oh, yeah, so what I'm doing now, moving it around so I don't get no paint on the floor. I'm a sloppy painter.
My dad's uncle, my great uncle, was a painter. And I don't mean to get squirreled, but I remember one time he's painting my house, right? He's painting my parents' house, and he's painting the ceiling. And and my mom walked in and was like, "Oh gosh, he doesn't have the covers down on the floor." And so my mom goes and says to my dad, she goes, "Can you talk to Uncle Mike? Tell him to put something down on the floor so we don't get paint." And so my dad went in to talk to Uncle Mike, and he was so offended. He said, "I've been painting ceilings for 30 plus years. I'm not putting something down on the floor. I'm not going to drip." So I didn't know if you put that down.
Well, yeah, I'm not that good, so I have to put something down. I'll make a mess.
What's your thought on the experts, Raj?
Well, I was listening to you talking about the experts, how the experts was saying that he was going to crash us and, was going to crash the economy and everything. But you know what an expert really is, right?
Tell me.
It's a has-been drip under pressure. And these guys are really under pressure.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Raj. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Have a great day at work, all right? Thanks for listening to us. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. This administration, Scott Bessent, Jameson Greer, Howard Lutnick, I trust these guys when it comes to the economy, man. It seems like the team that President Trump has put together is phenomenal. Scott Bessent was asked, guys, you've been in the hedge fund world, right? You've run hedge funds. In this moment, if you were still running a hedge fund, Mr. Bessent, where would you put your money?
You've been described as a global macro veteran and you run a hedge fund. In this moment, where would you put your money if you were still running one?
United States of America.
4 words, so simple. Who wouldn't want to invest in America at this point? With everything you're seeing, 3% GDP coming in today, inflation numbers lower than they should have been, a deal with the EU that is historic, a deal with Japan that's historic, more deals on the way. And if you don't want to make a deal, August 1st is headed your way as well. And we are happy to oblige you with some tariffs. Your move to the rest of the world, your move. Donald Trump is putting America first. He's putting the American economy on his back, and he's making all the right moves every step of the way. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. Again, POTUS just returning from Scotland yesterday. $1 trillion return on investment for one trip to the EU. Pretty good. Pretty good. He took some time to speak with reporters on the plane, Air Force One. I'll bring you what he talked about with those reporters when we get back. They talked about a lot. It wasn't just trade deals. He talked about his golf game. They talked about Gaza. They talked about the new Air Force One and more. I'll bring you all the highlights. Plus, does he regret not locking up Hillary Clinton? I think so. It's 9:51. More on the way. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
coming up here on Super Talk 99.7, breathing a sigh of relief on the West Coast. Also, we're keeping an eye on Wall Street after a very positive, some very positive evidence regarding the economy. That's coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom, 9:57, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I didn't think people were still going to be so upset about my Sydney Sweeney comments from this morning. It's been well over an hour, and people are still very upset. Are you seeing this in the YouTube chat?
I am seeing that in the YouTube chat.
Mark in the YouTube chat called me out. Just to recap, we were talking about the Sydney Sweeney thing earlier this morning. You know, the good genes.
Yeah, the genes and jeans.
Whatever. Like,
so dumb.
The left.
It's a pun on words.
Yeah, exactly. And the left is going to be outraged.
Of course.
They're going to be outraged about anything. But anyway, we were talking about it. And I said, I'll be honest with you. I don't think Sydney Sweeney is hot. I just don't. Like, everybody goes bananas over her. I'm like, okay. Meh. Like, I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm not saying that. I just don't understand all the hype.
Yeah, she's overhyped.
Way overhyped.
Not deserved.
So Mark in the YouTube chat is like, he's taking it personal. In my opinion. First off, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. All right?
Correct.
But Mark is very upset with me on the YouTube chat. Chris thinks Sydney Sweeney is not attractive? Let's see your runway model wife then. Let us be the judge of that.
But she is.
Be prepared for some serious constructive criticism. So I said, Mark, my wife is a smoke show.
Yeah.
She is. She is very hot. Hotter than Sydney Sweeney. So deal with it.
Get over it.
I'd post pictures, but I don't want to do that. I'd put a picture up, and you know what happened. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Let's not.
Take my word for it. Take Joan's word for it.
She's a smoking woman.
She's smoking.
Yeah.
She's smoking. I have a neighbor, Miss Donna. She's adorable. Love Miss Donna. She always says to me, Chris, your wife is a double shot of espresso, baby. Sounds about right. About right, Miss Donna.
Tracks.
It does. Mark is now, he's still upset. Put up a picture. Talk is cheap. Shut up, Mark. Just listen. Sydney Sweeney's not attractive. Great ad campaign. We're talking about it. That's what they wanted. What did Dan call it this morning? Outrage marketing. Outrage marketing 101.
Rage bait.
They nailed it. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I do have some of the unhinged lefties who are just absolutely losing their mind because she had the audacity to do a jeans commercial.
And what's crazy is it's not her. It's the people who made the ad for her.
Yeah.
It's not even her fault. She just happened to star in it.
She's like, oh, you want to pay me X amount of dollars to do this? Sure.
Easy.
Sure. What a racist. What a bigot. You stupid bigot. You should have known better. We'll talk about that later on in the day. On the way, we do have Donald Trump returning from his trip from Scotland, $1 trillion investment, ROI, on that vacation, answering some questions from the press on Air Force One. Does he think Hillary Clinton should be locked up? Why did he ban Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago? What's the new deadline for Russia? All that and more on the way. 10 o'clock, Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, 10 o'clock now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Tsunami waves have been hitting at the U.S. West Coast for hours. But as of now, they've been small enough that there's no damage that's been recorded. They came from an 8.8 magnitude quake off the coast of Russia. ABC's Alex Stone is in Los Angeles. That had been under an advisory overnight.
It was a very big area of warnings, watches, and advisories, the biggest since 2011. But from time to time, Hawaii and the western parts of the U.S. do go under tsunami warnings. But this one was especially large because it was such a big quake that prompted it, the 8.8 in Russia. But in the end, the major threat has come and gone. There could be days of squirrely currents and tides, and some relatively small tsunami waves were recorded on sensors, but at this point there is no known damage in the U.S. and lives are kind of back to normal here now.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the UK will recognize Palestine as a state at a United Nations meeting in September if Israel doesn't agree to a ceasefire in Gaza. France's Emmanuel Macron has said the same. Now, the U.S. would then become the only permanent member of the UN Security Council that doesn't recognize Palestine as a state. Well, it's being called everything from a game changer to government overreach. The Music City Loop has proven to be a political lightning rod. Tennessee Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson on Matt Murphy's show.
We should have a good collaborative working relationship, but I can tell you from the state perspective, if your attitude is we don't care how effective it is, we don't care how much traffic it's going to alleviate, we don't care how much it's going to help our tourism, we don't care about all these positive things, we're going to be opposed because it's Elon Musk. Well, first of all, that's not going to fly with voters, I don't think.
Mayor Freddie O'Connell saying he'll have a number of questions on the operational impact on Nashville, and he plans to release that to the public soon. A couple of Nashville teenagers arrested, charged with robbing a man in downtown this week. 16-year-old Jamarius Daniels and 17-year-old Darius McGill are being held at juvenile detention. Police say the teens approached a man who was here from Indiana with what appeared to be a gun. They forced him to withdraw $200 from a nearby ATM. Police captured the teens after seeing that they matched his description. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. A reading on gross domestic product came in at 3% growth in the second quarter. That was better than the 2.3% that was expected by analysts. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrials are up 4 points. NASDAQ is gaining 80. The S&P 500 index is plus 9. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. I didn't know that this would be as divisive of a topic as Israel-Iran or the Epstein files, but it is. Is Sydney Sweeney hot or not? It's dividing the audience in half. It really is. I got a text here, 6464. I agree. Sydney Sweeney isn't attractive. I feel like she's made a name for herself via exposing her boobs. Take those away, she'd be a 3 at best. Yeah, that's some of the comments I'm seeing. Then I get other ones like this from Wendy. Breaking news. Chris Hand is gay.
Whoa.
Listen, I don't know what you want me to say. Half the audience agrees with me. 52-24. Sydney Sweeney is definitely a butterface. Oh, that's rude. I don't think she's ugly. I just don't think
I was like, that's too far.
I don't think the hype is warranted.
Yeah.
I think that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Oh, jeez. Yeah. This is what I've been dealing with during the break. Chris, you're gay. Chris, Sydney Sweeney is a 3. I love you guys. Thank you for interacting with the show, however you interact with the show, whether you're in the YouTube chat, the text line, or the phone line, 615-737-9986. This show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. If you remember earlier this morning, Donald Trump dropping a Truth Social post threatening India with 25% tariffs, saying that you're buying too much military equipment from Russia, you're buying too much energy from Russia, and that needs to change. Well, we're getting news now that that India has announced a review of the U.S. tariff decisions made by Donald Trump, and U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is also cautioning, don't be a panicking if deals aren't reached by August 1st. Don't be a panicking. Don't. We've seen this movie before. People will panic. Let's be perfectly honest. But Trump and his team, they have a plan. And Scott Bessent is encouraging people not to panic if deals aren't in place by August 1st. Scott Bessent is also now on the record saying he's not expecting a Fed rate cut later on today. None of us are. Jerome Powell is increasingly political. If you can't see the greener pastures in this economy and the reasons for a rate cut, then you shouldn't be the Fed chair. You shouldn't. And you give a lot of people more ammo when they say end the Fed. Bessent is arguing that the Fed has misjudged the inflationary impact on tariffs and calls for a bit of imagination in policy response. His remarks are suggesting that the current frameworks may be too rigid as trade pressures reshape price dynamics. Markets may favor innovation over orthodoxy in upcoming Fed signals. That's from First Squawk on X. We're paying attention to all this stuff. Donald Trump, though, you can't argue with the results. You can't argue with the success he's had. We're only 6 months into this administration. The guy goes on vacation for a weekend to open up a new golf course in Scotland, and the return on investment on his vacation was $1 trillion investment in America. $1 trillion with a T. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. How does this happen? The guy's a beast. And he spent some of that time golfing. And while he's golfing, he's negotiating peace deals between Cambodia and Thailand. Like, name another guy that goes on vacation. He's like, by the way, while I'm on vacation, I'm going to get $1 trillion in investment in America, and I'm going to negotiate a peace deal between two countries that are at war. Who else does that? Does anybody else do that? No. While he's on his way back from this record-breaking vacation, Donald Trump starts taking some questions on the plane. And Trump's never afraid to take a question. Let's be perfectly honest. When has Donald Trump not wanted to take a question from the press? But he's taking questions on Air Force One. It started, though, this guy, he's the funniest guy, right? Can we all agree? Trump is hilarious. You know, I was talking about the trade and how Biden could never have accomplished something like this in 6 months. Trump was talking about other things that Biden can't do.
Did you get to see my drive in the first hole? You hit it straight pretty hard. Pretty long. Pretty long. That's no Joe Biden, let me tell you. That's not Biden, right? That was a good drive.
I don't know why. I just love it. Joe is probably still in a coma somewhere. He's going to wake up, and they're going to have to tell him about this 10 times in order for it to stick and him to remember. And then he'll forget in about a day or two. That wasn't a Biden drive. Did you see my drive? Did you see it?
Did you get to see my drive in the first hole? You hit it straight pretty hard. Pretty long. Pretty long. That's no Joe Biden, let me tell you.
And he has, if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you're seeing the video along with it. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. But he has this smile. Like, he knows that there's absolutely no reason to bring up Joe Biden in this situation. None. But he knows it's funny. And it's like, I do it sometimes too. We've talked about this. Sometimes I'm going to do things to make myself laugh. And I don't care if anybody else thinks it's funny because sometimes I just have to do it. We do it quite often with Alex Jones. And when we talk about Better Water LLC, like a lot of people don't think this is funny. I do.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
It's hilarious. And so sometimes I do things for me. And I feel like this is Donald Trump doing something for him. Like he's had a long weekend. He's just raining in trillions of dollars. And he's got peace deals coming in. He just opened up a great golf course. And he's like, I want to smile. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drag Biden. Just do it. He's the funniest guy. And he's like looking around the plane. He's like looking at people. He's like, did you hear that?
That's not Biden, right?
No, it's not. It's not. He's a funny guy. He could be the funniest president we've ever had. And a lot of it's not even intentional. A lot of it's just funny to be funny. They did ask him about the new Air Force One. When is the new Air Force One going to be ready? Everybody's like, this plane sucks. Why are we on this old Air Force One? When's the new one going to be ready?
When do you expect to be flying on the new Air
I think by, they say February maybe. Much sooner than the others. The others are being built. Long time build. That's a long time build. Now, they're not normal 747s. They, have a lot of things on them that another plane wouldn't have. But we'll get this one a year and a half, 2 years earlier.
How much will it cost to retrofit it?
I don't know. That's up to the military. I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't been involved. It's their plane. It's, the Air Force. They'll be spending an amount of money. It is a different plane because it becomes for military use. So, but I don't know what the number.
Soon, probably by the fall. We'll see. We'll keep you updated on the new Air Force One. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be the best. Trump was also asked about Gaza and the crisis going on over there. There's a lot of discussion on starvation in Gaza. You have many talking heads saying it's not happening. It's not happening at all. And I don't know. I think it's probably happening. Maybe not on the scale that they're talking about, but yeah, you could see why that would be happening. Donald Trump was asked about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, and Trump says, "Guys, you gotta help the kids."
Can I ask about the First Lady? You mentioned a couple of weeks ago her role in talking to you about the war in Ukraine, and perhaps a big part of your evolution in thinking. Have you discussed the crisis in Gaza and the terrifying?
I have, and she thinks it's terrible, and she sees the same pictures that you see, and that we all see, and I think everybody, unless they're pretty cold-hearted or worse than that, nuts. There's nothing you can say other than it's terrible when you see the kids, and those are kids, whether they talk starvation or not, those are kids that are starving. They are starving. And you see the mothers, they love them so much, and there's just nothing they seem to be able to do. They got to get them food, and we're going to get them food.
They got to get them food. We're going to get them food. You hear a lot of talking heads, especially on the right side of the aisle, saying that's not happening. This is overblown. The photo that you're seeing, the kid had a condition, and maybe that's partially true. But yeah, the kids are starving over there. Trump doesn't want that. And I think this is, and I've said this, and excuse me if you've heard this before, it's Trump's greatest strength. He doesn't dehumanize the enemy. He humanizes them. And Trump wants to create peace at the end of the day. I believe him. We're going to get him some food. We're going to give him some food. If you don't, you know what you're doing, right? I mean, you're just going to create more terrorists that hate Israel and more terrorists that hate America. Maybe we break the cycle of madness. We try to help them out a little bit. We'll see what happens. Another reporter asked, are you going to be pressuring Israel now to come to a long-term solution when it comes to what's happening in Gaza? Trump says, not so fast. Not so fast. You put too much pressure on Israel, and you're essentially rewarding Hamas, and nobody wants to do that.
Is there any use at all in pressuring Israel now to come to some sort of longer-term solution?
Well, you could make the case that you're rewarding people, that, you're rewarding Hamas if you do that. And I don't think they should be rewarded. So I'm not in that camp, to be honest. We'll let you know where we are, but I am not in that camp.
Mr. President,
because if you do that, you really are rewarding Hamas, and I'm not about to do that.
Not about to reward Hamas, But we do know that Trump has been harder on Israel when it comes to this stuff, especially with Iran. Turn the planes around. You remember. They don't know what the bleep they're doing. Like he has no problem telling Israel where they're doing something wrong, how they can fix it. He's done it before, and I think that in this situation, he's right. Let's help get those kids some food, and then let's see how this thing plays out. I think that's the most pressing issue. Nobody wants kids starving, right? Nobody wants kids starving, even if they're the sons of Hamas. Like, no, I don't want to see kids starving. Then the conversation went over to Russia, and Trump said, "Well, I'm going to give you an exclusive. Russia has a new deadline before we do sanctions and then secondary sanctions on Russia." Donald Trump said, "I'm going to give you an exclusive. Here's the new deadline."
Yesterday, you mentioned that you would change the Russia deadline to 10 to 12 days. Has that started yet, or when can we, see the official statement that is the new deadline?
I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you now. Do you want a big scoop?
Yes, please.
Everybody else, close your ears, okay? You ready?
I'm ready.
10 days from today.
Got it.
Okay?
Got it.
Good.
Have you communicated?
We have a scoop.
Thank you.
And then, we're going to put on tariffs and stuff, and I don't know if it's going to affect Russia, because he wants to obviously probably keep the war going. But we're going to put on tariffs and the various things that you put on. It may or may not affect them, but it could.
May or may not work. Something that they're going to try. The deadline is now 10 days. You heard in the previous question where they were talking about Gaza, and they said, have you spoken to Melania about this? And it's referencing the fact that she sees what's happening in Eastern Europe, and she's not a huge fan of all the dying, all the killing. And Donald Trump has had Melania in his ear when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, and he doesn't want to see this continue. But it looks like Russia does. There's more questions here. One of the questions about Jeffrey Epstein and how he banned him from Mar-a-Lago. If you recall, the reporters have been asking questions about Epstein nonstop. They asked him while he was visiting with Keir Starmer, and he said, we had to fire him. He was essentially poaching employees from Mar-a-Lago. And everybody's like, wait a second. I thought that Epstein was kicked out of Mar-a-Lago because of the underage girls that he was going after. And I guess essentially the story from Trump is one and the same, because he said, yeah, he was going after young girls that were working in the spas at Mar-a-Lago, poaching them. And he goes, even without the other stuff, he's like, I can't have a guy poaching my employees. But this is what it sounded like.
Yesterday, your falling out with Jeffrey Epstein was over him taking some of the workers from your business. But your administration in the past said that you threw him out because he was a creep. So can you explain that discrepancy?
Well, maybe they're the same thing, sort of a little bit of the same thing. But no, he took people that worked for me, and I told him don't do it anymore, and he did it. And I said, stay the hell out of here.
So is that what was meant by being a creep? I'm the travel pool, but I'm with NBC News.
NBC fake news. NBC's one of the worst.
Oh, you're with them. Got it. But he said it's essentially the same thing. Then another reporter was talking to him and said, does this involve Virginia Giuffre? And he said, yeah, it does. It does. Virginia Giuffre, which was breaking news. Virginia Giuffre was working in the spa at Mar-a-Lago. That's how she came into contact with Jeffrey Epstein. The same Virginia Giuffre, mind you, who in released testimony and interviews from her court cases, that when they came out, they were explosive. You might have remembered it was last summer, right, when we got all the Virginia Giuffre documents on Bill Clinton. I believe it was last summer. But in those documents, Virginia Giuffre is asked specifically about Donald Trump. Has he ever hit on you? No. Has he ever done anything, harassed you? No. Any sexual stuff? No. I mean, over and over. Nope, never with Donald, never with Trump, never. Tell you about Epstein, though. Tell you about Prince Andrew, though. Tell you about Bill Clinton. Yeah. But interesting piece of news. Interesting, to say the least. Then we got an interview with Donald Trump and Miranda Devine while he was in Scotland, and Hillary Clinton came up. Do you regret not locking her up, was the question. Donald Trump's answer may or may not surprise you. I'll bring you that when we return. 1022 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So I was watching local news last night, and they had a story about health insurance. And oh, hey, come this fall, you'll be able to switch. And I was thinking to myself, you don't have to wait for open enrollment to switch health insurance and start saving money. You know that, right? It's one of the biggest misconceptions in health insurance, and it's been explained to me over and over and over again by my friend Shane Ring at Cover Nash. He says that's just what the big guys want you to believe. With Cover Nash, you can get covered right now, no waiting, no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, they got you covered. Lost job coverage, Cover Nash has you covered. Sick of overpriced junk insurance? A lot of people feel that way. Guess what? Cover Nash has you covered. They're partnered with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including one with a brand-new nationwide PPO option, deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, even for specialists, ACA-compliant plans, free preventative care, physicals, colonoscopies, the works. Plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, even small businesses. Stop overpaying, stop waiting, and stop thinking you're stuck. Call Cover Nash today. 615-465-0023. You ask for Shane Ring. You tell him Chris Hand sent you. 615-465-0023. Cover Nash. Health insurance on your terms, not the government's. CoverNash.com.
We'll tell you where tsunami warnings are still in effect this morning. Also, 3 people are now under arrest for the mob attack in Cincinnati. We've got those stories coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Are you going to tell them the part about the bail?
I am, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Gets under your skin a little.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Joan Jones on the way with some fantastic headlines at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Mike in Nashville wants to talk about the Epstein files. What's up, Mike? Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Yeah. Okay, how you doing, Chris? Hey,
Good, what you got?
hey, listen, Chris. Yeah, listen, man. Donald Trump, there's some things that Donald Trump needs to not talk about. And I'm pretty sure his lawyers have told him this. He made a very bad mistake yesterday on that plane when the video that you just played, when they asked him a question about Epstein and why they broke apart. They're all over this on CNN and MSNBC. I know these people are bogus and they don't like Trump, but that what he said yesterday was not very good when he was talking about this 14-year-old girl, the one that committed suicide, the one that used to work for Donald Trump in one of his massage parlors, who he said Epstein. He said that he stole her away from him. That's not a good. Yeah. That's not good language to use. That's not good language to use when you're talking about somebody being used by Epstein in the sexual deal that they had going on. And basically, what it sounds like Donald Trump and him were basically paying money and fighting over this girl for money. The way Donald Trump made it sound,
really, I didn't take that way at all. I took it more. I took it more in the business sense. Poached. He stole my employees.
But that's not the way that CNN is taking it. They're making it out that Donald Trump, he's basically he's a human. This is a human being, Chris, is what they're saying.
But Mike,
how can you say that somebody stole a human being from?
But Mike, first of all, that's CNN. Trump could cure cancer. CNN would say that he put doctors out of work. Like, let's be perfectly honest. It's common, but in business, people talk like that all the time. I had a producer, Mac Morey. Kansas City stole him from me. He's now producing a show in Kansas City. So we don't know what job she was doing at the spa. Was she working the front desk and answering phones? I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with the language at all. I just don't. I don't have one bit of an issue with the language.
Okay. You made that clear. Okay, now let me say this one other thing about the Epstein files. Now Donald Trump, he needs to stop answering questions on this. Like I say, he dug himself another hole when they asked him if he was going to pardon Maxwell, who doesn't deserve a pardon because this woman is a criminal. She was also having sex with these young girls too. She was the one that lured them to Epstein's house, and he told him that this was take off their clothes, and she was also interacting in this situation. She doesn't deserve a pardon. And when they asked Donald Trump that question, he said that he had the right to give her a pardon. His answer should have been no. And now that they're all over that thing, because you and I know, Chris, if he gives that woman a pardon, the first thing they're going to say is Donald Trump had a deal with Maxine to keep quiet about his name being in them files, and then we're never going to hear the end of the situation. That'll be the worst mistake that Donald Trump will ever make in the White House if he pardons that woman, because they will never let him forget it. They'll make it out that he was associated with Epstein in this women trafficking that he had going on.
Okay, but a couple things. They're going to do it anyway, whether he does it or not. He didn't say he was going to pardon her. He said that he's allowed to pardon her, which is absolutely true. And also, she had some limited immunity with the interview with Deputy AG Todd Blanche. The House Oversight Committee is saying that they're denying any immunity in the upcoming deposition. I don't see a pardon happening. Well, the way the question was asked, and I appreciate the call, Mike, as always, you're one of the best. But the way the question was asked was, will you pardon her? And she's, I'm allowed to.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about. It's really something recommended. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
I haven't thought about it. I'm allowed to do it. I haven't thought about. I don't see the correlation in what you were saying, Mike, versus those statements. He did have more to say about Epstein on the plane. Yeah, should he not be answering the questions? I guess. The media would spin that too. Donald Trump refuses to answer questions about Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump is adamant that he won't answer any questions about his ties to Epstein. You would get all of that. So you're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't. He was asked another question about Jeffrey Epstein on the plane. He went into a little bit more depth about Virginia Giuffre. I'll bring you that when we return. 1031 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A massive magnitude 8.8 earthquake struck off Russia's Pacific coast, sparking tsunami warnings and evacuations of coastal areas in Hawaii and alerts all along the U.S. West Coast.
At this point, there is no known damage in the U.S., and there was no large destructive wave. Sensors have picked up smaller waves. This man in Marina Del Rey, California, spent all night watching the water. He says it's been fascinating watching the tide.
I don't think we saw much of a tidal wave, but we have seen a lot of surge going in and then immediately reversing.
Still, people are being told to stay away from beaches. Currents could be unpredictable for a few days. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A tsunami warning is still in effect for about a 40-mile portion of Northern California's coast. 3 people arrested now and charged in the attack on 2 white people who had attended a jazz festival in Cincinnati. But all 3 have now been released on a $400 bond. Police are still looking for at least 2 more suspects. In Money News, a reading on gross domestic product showed that the economy grew at 3% in the second quarter. Another report showed that hiring picked up last month, too. Now, while the Fed is not expected to cut interest rates when they conclude their meeting today, Bankrate's Greg McBride says that when the Fed does vote today, there could be some dissent.
We know for a fact one will vote for a rate cut at this meeting. He's basically said so publicly, and reporting has said that he has also informed Fed Chair Powell of his intention to vote for a rate cut. So we know it's coming. It's not necessarily going to come as a shock, but what it will do is, I think, put the Fed under an even greater microscope in the months ahead.
And stocks are trading mixed right now. The Dow Jones Industrial's down 58. We've got the NASDAQ up 44, and the S&P is gaining a point. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, and it is vacation season. You don't want to come home. I said this yesterday, thinking that the wet bandits were at your house because you have a plumbing disaster. That's not fun. But Busy Bee is going to give you peace of mind while you're on vacation. They're offering this month a smart Wi-Fi water shutoff valve installed by their expert techs for just $12.49 this July only. That is going to be serious peace of mind at a great price. Maybe you just need to upgrade the comfort in your home. Your AC went out. Well, talk to Busy Bee. You get a new HVAC system. You'll get free air duct fogging and a UV light home treatment because clean air matters, and they'll make it so easy for you. 0% financing for 18 months with approved credit and payments as low as $100 a month on those HVAC replacements. If you need a new HVAC, you need to call Busy Bee. 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. I've been a Beehive Club member for years. You should sign up for that too. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
Weather can change in an instant, and you need to be prepared for any outcome. That's why Generator Supercenter of Nashville will help keep your family safe and connected. We make buying a backup generator simple and easy, with financing options available, free in-home estimate, turnkey installations, no worry warranty, and most importantly, the monitoring and service of your fully installed generator. Come see us at our location in Nashville or visit us online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
1037 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Love those guys. Love them. Mason Fleming's producing. Joan Jones in the newsroom. You guys on the Super Talk text line and the phone line, 615-737-9986. I'll see you guys in the chat. Shout out to everybody on YouTube and Rumble. Watch us. Why? Well, we got video for all the audio that you hear. Hit like, hit subscribe, all the things. So Donald Trump, he's getting some heat. He's getting some heat for this. Jeffrey Epstein stole Virginia Giuffre from me. And I just don't see the hand wringing. Again, I made the point earlier. Kansas City, they got a little sports station out there in Kansas City. Maybe you've heard of them. They had a morning show. You know what they did to me? They stole my producer, Mac Maury. It's ridiculous. To be fair, I didn't like him. Mason's much better.
Let's go.
but no, I was kidding. I love Mac.
He's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
He's all right. Screw that guy. But so I don't see, you have a business guy, right? Talking like a business guy. I don't see the upset, why everybody's so upset about it on both sides. Oh, terrible choice of words. Okay. All right, cool. Like, it's not, people talk like this all the time. This is Donald Trump discussing Virginia Giuffre with a reporter on board Air Force One yesterday.
Mr. President, Epstein has a certain reputation, obviously. Just curious, were some of the workers that were taken from you, were some of them young women? Were some of them young women? Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken. And it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad. But that story's been pretty well out there. And the answer is yes, they were. Yes, they were. Yes. Yeah. What did they do? In the spa. Jobs. In the spa. Yeah, it's people that work in the spa. I have a great spa, one of the best spas in the world at Mar-a-Lago. And people were taken out of the spa, hired by him. In other words, gone. And other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told him, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. I don't want him taking people. And he was fine. And then not too long after that, he did it again. And I said, out of here.
Mr. President, did one of those stolen, persons, that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
No, and you can find that in all the court documents that have been released from Virginia Giuffre. Now, Donald Trump, he stole her. Oh, how could you say that? Well, the reporter said it, and he rephrased the question. He also said he hired her. Then I got a text here from Heather. And I'm not knocking it, but she said, so I agree. This looks bad on Trump. Why did he have a 14-year-old working for him? Okay, a couple things. Minimum age for work in Florida, 14. Okay? If Donald Trump has a 14-year-old working at Mar-a-Lago, I would ask you, do you think that Donald Trump is in every job interview at Mar-a-Lago? Every single one? Doubtful. You think Donald Trump is taking time out of his day to sit down and make sure that the interview with the pool attendant, the guy that's going to clean up towels, is going well? I mean, I guess maybe at some point he sat down in an interview. But, let's be realistic. No. Donald Trump didn't hire her. She was hired by the overarching Donald Trump enterprise, right? There's two different things. Two completely different things. Also, if you look at the facts, she was 17. She was 17, not 14. She worked as a pool attendant. I'm just saying, it's not what you're saying. Oh, he hired a 14-year-old. No, well, maybe. I don't know. But this is silly. This is completely ridiculous. 5022. You're grasping at straws trying to explain Trump. I don't know what to tell you. Call in 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. I got a text here from Mac Maury's mom. She said, I heard that. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Always listening.
Always listening. So Florida, the minimum age to hire is 14. Donald Trump's not sitting in those interviews. Virginia Drew Frey was 17. He said hired a couple times. He said stole, rephrasing the reporter's question. I don't know. Is this a big controversy? I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be at all. 615-737-9986. Let's go to Jay in Nashville. What's up, Jay?
Hey, what's up, Chris, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm a big fan of you.
Appreciate it.
You just said it's like they're grasping for straws, trying to, attack Trump. It is diabolical that you don't see how you were grasping for straws.
Well, no. I said no. The text was you're grasping at straws trying to explain Trump.
Yeah, well, I tried to defend him in my book. I mean, you just said, well, she's 14 or 17. He don't know, and she might. He don't know who he's hired. He just got mad that Jeffrey Epstein hired his 14 to 17-year-old spa worker. She's not changing towels.
So
she's not.
She literally it was described that she worked as a pool attendant. She was 17 years old, and I just want to ask you, Jay. Do you think that Donald
I'm losing
Trump?
respect for you, Chris, every day.
Okay. Let me just ask you this question: do you think Donald Trump sits in on every interview and reviews every resume for every pool attendant at Mar-a-Lago?
No, but if he's pissed off that Epstein's still a 17-year-old spa worker, there's some emotional connection there.
I don't think it had anything to do with the specific spa worker he stole. I think it had to do with the overarching idea of him taking employees.
You should take some notes from your former Turning Point colleague Candace Owens, because you're going down the same spiral, man. And
what are you talking
you're
about?
Credibility.
I'm losing.
That's why you giggled. You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But stop defending, bro. I don't care if he gets 1 million jobs and gets every immigrant and transsexual out of this country. Great. He's still done what he's done, and at the root, nobody with that kind of moral standing should run this country.
What are you saying that he did, Jay?
Man,
what are you saying he did? What are you saying he did? No.
Can you say with a clear conscience that he's absolved from this Epstein stuff? Like, can you say that? Because that's what
there was a defense attorney. There was a defense attorney by the name. Defense attorney by the name of. Defense attorney by the name of Bradley Edwards represented over 70 victims for the Epstein case. 70 victims.
Mm-hmm.
All the celebrities he contacted.
So why did
are you going to interrupt me every single time I try to make a point, Jay? Or are we going to have a conversation?
Okay.
I mean, seriously, I'm losing my credibility. I'm spiraling. But then I go to try to make a point, and you start talking over me. Bradley Edwards was the defense attorney for 70 Epstein victims, contacted a bunch of celebrities, a bunch of the elite. The only person that returned his call was Donald Trump. The only person that gave him actionable information that helped the case was Donald Trump. Donald Trump had no connection with Jeffrey Epstein after the pedophilia conviction. Donald Trump never went to the island. I mean, what are you trying to insinuate? You just think he's.
Do you know, like, he had Jeffrey Epstein and the Clintons at his birthday party at Mar-a-Lago?
Okay.
Like, of course he's going to deny. But
he runs in those circles.
You defend him. You should be on his defense team. That's what you should do.
He runs in those circles. I don't have to defend him. He can defend himself.
I just hope you don't eat pro when all this is said and done, man, because you changed your position. Just like Bongino, like Cash Patel. You guys are backing up just to protect what? Protect what? Someone else can get in there and do the same thing Trump's doing. Right? To be Trump, everything's Trump. You think every idea is his? Absolutely not. It's the people around him. We can get him out and get someone with the same views in. The dude is not. He's not great. He's not a good person.
You think he's a pedophile?
Absolutely. Not now. Maybe not now. At one point in his life, absolutely. It's too much. It's too much circumstantial evidence, brother. It's too much. And I hate it. And I know all the people that had this huge. It's like finding out Santa Claus ain't real for a lot of MAGA people.
Okay.
I mean, I get it because it's like, no way. And he's done too much good, and that's the problem. Everybody is on that list.
Okay.
In Washington.
So as Trump is as Trump
is
is
religion. It's not a sexual thing. It's about duality.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. But as Trump is directing his AG to get the grand jury testimony out of Florida and New York released, as Trump is sending his deputy, he's sending his deputy AG down there to interview Maxwell. He's doing nothing. He's doing nothing
down there. And Chris Christie got on, one of a former supporter. Chris Christie got on and said that The only time ever in United States history that a deputy attorney general has interviewed someone alone. There's too much weird stuff going on to not know this is a cover-up, man. Like, he went down there by himself to interview Maxwell, not with someone to confirm. Like, yeah, he's going to give her a pardon when she agrees not to testify about him. When they
He didn't say he was going to give her a pardon. He didn't say he was going to give her a pardon. She had limited immunity. She had limited immunity. She had limited.
He didn't say he wasn't.
He said, I haven't thought about it. He has the authority to. He's
Right.
not.
Why would he?
Nobody's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. I think that is a bridge too far. If you want to deal in hypotheticals and get yourself all worked up, that's fine.
Well,
but
and that's what you do.
Right now,
Isn't that what
but-
this all is? This is all hypotheticals till we know the truth.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to get to the
anyways,
truth.
man, hey, I hope you. I mean, I know what you got to do. But brother, hey, good luck with defending him. I don't think it's going to come out right. I think JD Vance is going to be great. I think he'll be great.
If you think Trump is dirty, right? You think JD Vance is going to be clean?
No. Not at all.
Okay, so what are you doing? So what are you doing? So what are we doing?
Evils right now.
What are we doing?
It's Trump or Peter Thiel.
Okay.
Trump or Peter Thiel.
Okay.
And deep down, as people have to stay on it because the industry is going to make them shut it down. And I applaud Candace Owens. And I just hope you. I don't know. I get it. Because we really don't know, but I think deep down we do. And
I completely disagree with you. I think deep down we know that Trump didn't do anything. Again, defense attorney Bradley Edwards. This is from the case in 2009. He represented 70 trafficking victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
Obviously, our current president has had relationships with Epstein in the past, and there are those Katie Johnson and maybe other victims who have accused Trump of being involved in things like this. In my experience, Trump supporters will not listen to anything along those lines. Obviously, we're not a court of law here right now, but are those claims, though that case was dropped, it was dropped before it went to court. In your opinion as a lawyer and your experience, is there anything you can say as to the validity of those claims or whether or not there will be any more about that?
Nothing at all. The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009.
Oh, he must be a pedophile and guilty. He must be. That's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only 615-737-9986. Who do you want to go to? The phone lines are full. Any suggestions, Mason? Who's the best option? We got time for one caller.
Let's go with Dave from line 3.
Dave, what's up, man? You're on Super Talk.
Hey, that guy that was just on, he's just a conspiracy theorist. I'm with you. Trump had nothing to do with it. He's not guilty of anything that has anything to do with Epstein, other than he flew on the plane a couple times. He's a good man. He's doing nothing but good for the United States, and and you're not going the same way as Candace Owens, so you're good to go with me.
No, that's fair. I do at times think Brigitte Macron may have a penis, though. So let's not count our chickens before they hatch. You know what I'm saying? 1051 Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
New information in the Trump administration's push for the release of Epstein grand jury transcripts and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom, 1056, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I got a text from Dan Mandis.
What's Brother Dan Mandis saying?
Well, I can't say a lot of it.
I heard he was a little angry.
He's a little angry. A lot of bovine scatology is being dropped. He said, dude was a troll, psychological warfare, love you, but losing credibility. And then he said, man, that dude made me mad, and I forgot to stop by the store. I thought it was good radio, though. Shout out to Jay. Danny in McMinnville, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for calling. What do you got?
Hey, well, I want to talk about that caller couple that called Trump a pedophile and all that stuff. You know, I don't understand him or any of the people that believe the way he does. They don't have any common sense whatsoever. They won't even listen to reason.
Yep.
And you can't talk nothing into their heads. I mean, Trump may be a womanizer, but Clinton was, Obama is, and all that, but he's not a pedophile.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Danny.
All I know is they're idiots. They forget how Biden tore this country down for 4 years, and Trump's trying to build it back, and is doing a heck of a good job at it.
Yeah.
And these people have no sense whatsoever. I mean, it just makes my blood boil to listen to somebody like that.
Yeah, I hear you, Danny.
You wait till one of these illegal immigrants does something to his family, and, he'd probably be stupid enough to still be against Trump.
Yeah, I hear you, Danny. A lot of people on the text line were calling that last caller Jay a liberal. I don't think he's a liberal by any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't. Would you classify the last caller as a liberal?
No, I don't think so.
I would not say that. But it's just wild. With everything we've seen, all the litigation in this country, you don't think if there was an Epstein victim who was abused by Donald Trump, there wouldn't have been some civil suit at some point? You don't think that the Democrats wouldn't have released any of the files if Donald Trump was implicated? They tried to lock him up. They rifled through Melania's underwear drawer. They raided Barron's room. They wouldn't have released any key documents that implicated Trump. It's garbage. It's bovine scatology. Terry in Murfreesboro. What's up, Terry?
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
Good, man. How are you? What do you got?
Yeah. All right, I'm with that other guy that just called, the last caller. It doesn't matter what you say. It's never good enough. It just reminds me of somebody like if you're playing chess with a pigeon. It doesn't matter how good you are. The pigeon wants to knock the pieces over, crap all over the board, then strut around like they won.
I like that. Yeah.
All right, buddy. I feel
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Let's go to Tom in Nashville. What's up, Tom?
How's it going? So listen, look, I'm looking at Trump, and I've been on the train since 2016.
Okay.
Since the moment he stepped down that golden escalator. And I'm looking at what's going on, like rhetorically. I know he's a lot smarter than to say the things that he's been saying, or maybe he's just out of touch. Because listen, when you tell me that, like, Epstein's taking my girls from my massage parlor, like, that sounds dirty, dude. This guy is dirty. Trump's dirty.
He said, like, for the record, he said spa. He started the conversation saying that they were hired away. He didn't say he didn't say the word stole until the reporter used the word stole, and then he rephrased the question.
Dude, you're nitpicking at hairs. Like, end of story.
But I could say the exact same thing about you.
Well, listen, Trump is mad because Epstein was taking like his
his employees, exactly, poaching
right?
employees.
He was taking his employees, but it just happens to be that these employees were young girls. Like, so listen, we all know that there's some dirty being done here. It's just how dirty is it? So listen, I don't have a problem if he was messing with girls that are like whatever 18 plus. We all know he was doing it probably. Like, whatever, I guess that's something that happens, right?
Is Donald Trump a womanizer in his younger years? Sure. But
yeah, I had no problem with that. But, like, if he was...
If Virginia Giuffre...
He's aiding and abetting, like, these people... He's with Epstein. Like, he knew the guy.
What do you mean he's aiding and abetting? What?
He knew the guy. If he didn't do something about it, and he knew what the guy did, because he knew the guy. He knew him, right? He knew him pretty well, enough to be his friend. And then the only time he wasn't the guy's friend was when the guy started stealing his girls, right? This looks bad. It looks really bad for Trump. And he could have handled it a lot of rhetorically, better ways. But because he handled it the way he did, it makes me think that this is bad.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Trump talks the way Trump talks, and that's how he's going to do things. He rephrased the question from the reporter. Trump knew he was still associated with Jeffrey Epstein. Cindy McCain, a couple years back, we all knew.
It hides in plain sight. Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him.
We all knew about him. Okay. Donald Trump is the only one that helped a defense attorney for victims. Donald Trump removed him from his club, banned him, never connected with him again after that. I don't understand. It's 11:02. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and everybody in Middle Tennessee's under an extreme heat warning for a second straight day. I can tell you the National Weather Service says the heat index right now is 100, with the real temperature being 91. Full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. New information in the Trump administration's push for the release of grand jury transcripts in the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell cases. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
In a pair of court filings, the Justice Department reveals the grand juries that indicted Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell heard from just two witnesses, both of them law enforcement officers, one with the FBI, the other with the NYPD. The administration is asking two different federal judges to allow for the public disclosure of the testimony, much of which the filings say became public at Maxwell's trial. The judges have offered Epstein and Maxwell's victims the opportunity to weigh in before they rule on the rare government request.
Today, the Federal Reserve expected to keep interest rates where they are. Fed Chair Jerome Powell's been coming under fire from President Trump for not being more aggressive with cutting interest rates, but Powell has maintained future uncertainty with tariff policies and inflation are keeping the Fed in a wait-and-see mode. The decision to cut rates made by not just Powell alone, but a six-person board. And bank rate chief financial analyst Greg McBride says there could be some dissent on the board this time.
We know for a fact one will vote for a rate cut at this meeting. He's basically said so publicly, and reporting has said that he has also informed Fed Chair Powell of his intention to vote for a rate cut. So we know it's coming. It's not necessarily going to come as a shock, but what it will do is, I think, put the Fed under an even greater microscope in the months ahead.
Tsunami waves have been hitting the U.S. West Coast for hours, but as of now, they have been so small, no damage is known. They came from an 8.8 magnitude quake off the coast of Russia yesterday. ABC's Alex Stone is in Los Angeles, which is under advisory.
At this point, there is no known damage in the U.S., and there was no large destructive wave. Sensors have picked up smaller waves. This man in Marina Del Rey, California, spent all night watching the water. He says it's been fascinating watching the tide.
I don't think we saw much of a tidal wave, but we have seen a lot of surge going in and then immediately reversing.
Still, people are being told to stay away from beaches. Currents could be unpredictable for a few days. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Fans are saying goodbye today to Ozzy Osbourne, the Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, dying earlier this month at the age of 76. Thousands have lined the streets of his native Birmingham, England, for the procession ahead of his funeral. He once said he hoped his funeral would not be what he called a mope fest. Here's Patrick Reevell.
Definitely not a mope fest. There's been thousands of people here gathering for Ozzy's funeral procession through his hometown. We're actually at Black Sabbath Bridge. People have been leaving tributes, flowers, balloons there. The procession came along this street through central Birmingham.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
11:08, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to the show all over the place, man. iHeartRadio, tune in, the 99.7 WTN app, the FM dial. You can watch the show. We're live on Super Talk TV. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. On Rumble, don't put the period. Just 997 WTN. That's how you find it.
All numbers.
Why is it so sensitive, the search on Rumble? Do you know?
I don't know.
It's so sensitive.
It's weird.
It's like one of our last callers. Anyway. What? I was just kidding. I love all the callers. I love the arguing, love the disagreeing. Huge fan of it.
We're here for discourse. If we're all in an
honestly,
echo chamber, it's not worth it.
Honestly, it makes the show way better. So shout out to everybody calling that agrees, disagrees, whatever you want. I'm here for it. 615-737-9986. Real quick, Zach in Nashville's been holding for a minute. What's up, Zach? What do you got?
How you doing today, Chris?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, man, just enjoying the show we're all watching right now. America, isn't it the greatest sitcom you've ever seen?
Yep, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Well, what do you got today?
Oh, man, I was kind of overheard, hopped into a truck to move here at work and overheard the last conversation with a guy who didn't like what Trump says and all this other stuff. And he thinks, it seemed like he kind of thought Trump was on Epstein's ball field. And, man, at this point, it's like people need to start laying their emotions aside and looking at this in a logical manner. We're in a war. It's a war for your mind right now.
Yep.
And people are letting them win. It's like, how many times can they run the psyop on you before you go, okay, man, I'm not going to fall for it this time?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's at that point to where it's like, if these people had anything to prove that Trump had sexual relations with an underage woman, it would have been out 5-10 years ago.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
And, I like to think I'm not that smart of a man, but like, how many times can you be sold a bill of bad goods and go, man, they got him this time? You know what I mean? It's getting out of control.
Yep.
And I really wish people would wake up because the longer that we're waiting on you guys, pretty much. Like, this whole show we're watching go down isn't for people like you and I. We see it. We've seen the proverbial writing on the wall years ago.
Yep.
I took over my own information stream in 2015 because I got sick and tired of being told, hey, this is how this person feels, and they're mad and they're angry, and be mad. No, I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm actually righteously frustrated to the point to where you've motivated me to pick up.
Yeah.
Pick up the counterinsurgency against you guys, because you're an insurgency, and the only way we're going to beat it is by building a counterinsurgency against that.
Yeah. No, man, I totally get it. I appreciate the call, Zach. Thanks so much for listening. 615-737-9986. This does end up being a distraction from the Trump victories. Whether we like it or not, it is. And trust me, I want all the Epstein information that's available, and I want it all released. I want transparency. I want accountability. If any new information was to come out on Donald Trump, I would be the first one to tell you I was wrong. I'll be the first one to throw him under the bus if it's credible information. But why would they have raided him? Why would they have thrown all the lawsuits his way? Why would they have thrown all the felonies his way? Why would they have tried to put a bullet in the back of his head if they could have ended Donald Trump with one leak of one document and 1 ounce of proof from him and Epstein? It just doesn't make any sense. In the meantime, though, this does distract. And it distracts away from a lot of the winning. The main source of winning, southern border. It's been absolutely phenomenal. DHS has released a new ad encouraging illegal aliens to self-deport. Pretty much a masterpiece, not going to lie to you. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you'll see all the visuals on YouTube, Rumble, and all the platforms. If you're listening on air, you'll hear it. It's still pretty damn good, but the visuals definitely kick it up a notch. Hit like and subscribe.
If you're an illegal alien living in the United States, this runway is your future. Because one way or another, you're getting on a plane home. But how you get there is up to you. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. You can make it easy, like others who've made the right choice, by downloading the CBP Home app and safely self-deported. They received financial assistance up to $1,000, a free flight home, and they have the chance to come back to America legally. Or your trip home can be hard. We will find you. You will be fined thousands of dollars, detained, and forcefully removed from our country. Leave legally because you won't miss this flight. And it's your last chance to get on board the right way. Under President Trump's strong leadership, we follow the law, and our border is secure.
I mean, it's a heck of an ad, and it reminds me of like what I say to my kids a lot. It's like, choose your hard. Choose your hard. Choose, self-deporting, going back to this country. I've never known this country. That's hard. That's hard. You know what else is hard? Getting wrangled by ICE and thrown in alligator Alcatraz and then eventually deported anyway. Choose your hard. Again, I do it with my kids all the time. Like, yeah, studying's hard. You know what else is hard? Failing classes. Choose your hard. Exercise is hard. Yeah, you know what else is hard? Being fat. Choose your hard. You have an opportunity. You have a choice to make as an illegal alien. You can go home the right way, or we can get you home our way. Both are hard. Choose. Choose your hard. But things have changed at the border drastically. Foreign Correspondent did a whole story on it, and they got themselves some interviews. They had Sinaloa cartel members. They had Mexican military members, U.S. military members, and they were talking about how everything has changed at the southern border under this administration. People and drugs have often been smuggled across in blind spots in the border. Now they're watched by U.S. military Stryker vehicles. Listen to this report.
People and drugs have often been smuggled across blind spots in the border. Now, they're watched by armored U.S. military Stryker vehicles. With state-of-the-art surveillance equipment, they can detect the slightest movement. It takes only minutes for U.S. troops to arrive.
So just to break it down, she's on the Mexican side of the border, and she's kind of like leaning over and testing the response time of the U.S. military. She said within minutes they were there.
I think they're scoping us out in the same way we're scoping them out.
He said, don't worry, just journalists from Australia. All good. Oh, okay, we'll see you guys later.
Wow. How does it feel for you? This is your country, this is your town, to see military men literally on the border.
Loaded question, right? So she's from Australia. She's probably a bit leaning to the left. Even if she was framed as a conservative, conservatives in other countries are not the same as conservatives here in America. So she's loading this question up. How does it make you feel? And she's expecting this is awful, this is terrible. But what she gets from the Mexican Border Patrol officer is the exact opposite. He says it's good because for people trafficking drugs, trafficking undocumented migrants, they're slowed down, even stopped when they see what's happening here. Oh, that's weird. So it's working. Yeah, it's working. This interview kept going. She actually pulls in some Sinaloa cartel members for this interview with Foreign Correspondent, this Australian news outlet. And the Sinaloa cartel members, it's funny. They say business is no longer booming. And it's making things hard for the Sinaloa cartel. Will somebody think of the Sinaloa cartel in all of this? Somebody. I mean, I know Foreign Correspondent is. And gosh, big hearts over there, Foreign Correspondent, telling the stories of the unheard, the Sinaloa cartel.
In the sky, too. Covert American drone flights over Mexico have increased.
Good.
And in February, the U.S. government designated some cartels terrorist organizations.
That's a good thing.
Giving it even more power to hunt them down.
Positive. Just framing it as a negative.
The Sinaloa cartel was once confident, boasting about its business. But not anymore.
Oh.
We're about to meet someone linked with the Sinaloa cartel. He's agreed to speak with us, but asked us to hide his identity and location.
This man, who we'll call Manuel, says they're under real pressure.
So this guy goes on to say that business is not booming. People are scared to come here, he says.
Are you scared of getting caught?
Pues también.
Yeah, he is.
Pues sí, también.
Very scared. Very scared.
Hay más Border Patrol.
There's more Border
más
Patrol,
Guardia Nacional.
more National Guard.
O sea, mucho más
way
gobierno,
more government
mucho
presence,
más.
way more.
Era un
It used to be a little
fácil,
easier, you know? That's what he
sea,
says.
de caminar.
Like, just walk through the border.
El negocio, a lo que se escucha.
The business, what you hear is that it's been hit hard.
Demasiado.
Ah, so sad, so sad. What you're seeing at the southern border is one of the biggest victories, if not the biggest victory in my entire lifetime. We've never seen this, ever. The Sinaloa cartel is like, guys, business is hurting. And it's going to get even worse because they're ramping up recruitment for ICE and DHS. Business is not booming now. Business is about to be shut down. Business is about to go bankrupt. They're now announcing up to a $50,000 sign-on bonus to join ICE. That's Stephen Miller. $50,000 to join ICE. This comes after a True Social post from Donald Trump. Our brave ICE law enforcement agents are getting the worst of the worst criminals out of our country. Terrorists, pedophiles, MS-13 gang members, murderers, rapists, drug and human traffickers. They're getting these sleaze bags, the scum of the earth, that crooked Joe Biden let in, out of here, and getting them out fast. We need more courageous men and women. Make America safe again. Join ICE now. We will take great care of you, just like you take care of us. Join.ice.gov. Stephen Miller quoting that tweet, retweeting it, saying up to a $50,000 sign-on bonus. $50,000. That's crazy. I texted my brother-in-law. He's a veteran. He knows how to fly some drones. I said, bro, $50,000. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. $50,000. Tom Homan says that they're going to keep going, man. They're not slowing down. Many people are contacting him about working for ICE. So many, in fact, that Tom Homan had to shut down his LinkedIn page because he couldn't handle the ramp up in messages after this bonus was announced.
Can you talk about the incentives to recruit more federal agents to be used by ICE? What is out there for them to maybe consider coming out of retirement or consider this as a career path?
Well, I can tell you this, John. We had thousands of people contacted me. I mean, literally thousands. I had a LinkedIn account, I had to shut it down. So thousands of agents were already wanting to come back from the Border Patrol and from ICE without a signing bonus. But now there's a signing bonus announced, $10,000 signing bonus. The numbers are extraordinary.
He says $10,000. It has been increased up to $50,000. That's going to be depending upon your experience, obviously, and retention.
I was talking to the CBP commission this week. They got more recruits coming in from Border Patrol than any time in history. Their recruiting office is swamped. They got more people than they can handle. ICE, I know they got hundreds and hundreds of people already signed up to come back. And it's a great move. Bring back ICE agents who know the Fourth Amendment. They know how to speak Spanish. They know how to use the processing systems. They know the way we operate on fugitive operations. So they can hit the ground from day one after a few weeks of refresher training. So it's a great move. And also there's a $10,000 retention bonus for those who are eligible to retire. We lift the retirement age to keep that knowledge, that experience, in the workforce. So there's also $10,000 signing bonus, which I think is a great move.
Yeah, it is a great move. And again, Stephen Miller has announced that is up to $50,000 for the sign-on bonus. $50,000. If you think the border's secure now, it's going to get even more secure. You go to the website. If you're watching on the stream, you'll see this. It says America needs you. Your country is calling upon you to serve. Choose your mission. Deportation officer, criminal investigator, general attorney. There are some limitations on how old you need to be. Is there an age limit? Is there a maximum? You got to be 21. Okay. And the day immediately preceding an individual's 37th birthday is the last day to be referred for selection consideration for criminal investigators. The day after your 40th birthday is the last day to be referred for selection for consideration as a deportation officer. The age restriction is not there when it comes to being a lawyer, but up to a $50,000 sign-on bonus. Insane. ICE, join.ice.gov if you're looking for work. It's 11:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A lot of people on the text line are pretty impressed with how I can translate from Spanish to English flawlessly. Did you notice that? I was doing a good job. It's really just reading. I just read the subtitles. If you're watching on SuperTalk TV, you know I cheated because we have the video elements. That's why you got to watch. Hit like and subscribe. Hey, it's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville, and you got to listen up. If pain has been running your life, this is going to change everything for you. It's called the Big Daddy Trump Special. I like to refer to it as the BDT. Yeah, you know me. The Wellness Institute of Nashville for just $12 is going to give you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment for only $12. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they're not going to give up on you. They're going to fix this pain, just like President Trump never gave up on America, and he's fixing a lot of the pain that was put here by Joe Biden. Patients say it all the time. Why didn't I come to you guys first? Don't let that be what you say to them. Go to the Wellness Institute first. Back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs. They'll treat it all with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and even anti-gravity machines. What you're not going to find is surgery, painkillers, or injections. Grab your MRI, get ready to finally understand your condition, and fix it at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009. I'm Chris Hand. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal that could change your life. Painisbad.com.
Well, the tsunami warning has been downgraded on the West Coast, but folks are still being told to keep an eye out. We've got the very latest at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name's Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. The show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Got a nice text. Got a nice text here. There's a flower shop listening to us. Sunshine Flowers and Gifts. They're listening at 2 locations, Hermitage and Lebanon. They said, anecdotally, you're the #1 talk show host for florists. I'm here for it. This is a new one. I'm here for it.
That's why they kill Brother Chris Hand.
You know, if you like your flowers to be red-pilled and based, you go to Sunshine Flowers and Gifts. If you like picking out roses and having a hint of yelling in the background, you do it at Sunshine Flowers and Gifts in Hermitage and Lebanon. Thanks for listening, guys. However you may be listening, we appreciate it. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. We're about to jump into the lightning round here in a few minutes, and there are so many good stories. So many good stories for the lightning round today. I kind of want to spoil one. Should I spoil a lightning round story?
Sure.
Better be good.
Oh,
Yeah, better be
dude,
good, brother Chris.
It is so good. Tonight on South Park.
That's a great way to open that up.
Tonight on South Park. And this has been all the talk among my Turning Point friends. Cartman is going to play Charlie Kirk. And he's doing the Prove Me Wrong table.
Let's go.
Which is like, it's hilarious. I don't know. This may be one of the greatest compliments you can receive, right? You've reached such mainstream mass appeal that you can be made fun of by South Park.
That's great.
All right, if you're watching on the stream, you'll see the video. And I mean, they nailed it. They even gave him Charlie Kirk hair for the Prove Me Wrong table.
It's identical.
It's identical. Like, it's so good. Like, I don't know anybody else with Charlie's hair, but the Cartman here. But this is just a 3-second clip of Eric Cartman channeling his inner Charlie Kirk at a Prove Me Wrong table.
You can just shut up, baby, because you hate America and you love abortion.
It's so good. It's so good on so many levels.
You can just shut up, baby, because you hate America and you love abortion.
Yeah, shut up, baby. I'm watching South Park tonight. I hope you are too. Lightning round on the way after the news with Ken Weaver, which starts right now on Super Talk.
11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And for a second consecutive day, the vast majority of Middle Tennessee is under an extreme heat warning. And right now, checking the heat index, according to the National Weather Service, we're sitting at 100 degrees, feels like. Actual temperature's 91. Full forecast in 5 minutes. The immediate threat is past, but officials say people should still stay vigilant along the coastline of Northern California after an earthquake early this morning in the Pacific sparked a tsunami warning. The 8.8 magnitude quake centered off the coast of eastern Russia triggered warnings as far south as South America. In Crescent City, California, Harbor Master Mike Redemaker says a dock was washed away by waves several feet high.
As the water levels continued to rise, the structure was unable to adjust, and the decking became lodged on the pilings and was eventually submerged, and this resulted in major structural failure and complete separation of the dock.
National Weather Service says the tsunami warning has been downgraded to an advisory.
Strong currents through the day. I would expect through a lot of the day, you'll need to be especially cautious of the ocean.
Right now in Nashville, it's been nearly 3 years since Jillian Ludwig was shot and killed while running in a park near Belmont's campus. Today, the suspected killer, Shaquille Taylor, was set for trial on May 4th of next year. Just 2 weeks ago, he was deemed competent to stand trial, and Jillian's parents tell Channel 4 they're relieved, calling it a major step towards justice.
We're thankful to the prosecutors who helped to prove that, and to the judge who understood it and saw exactly what we saw, a competent man who should be held accountable.
It's been particularly hard because it was so clear to us what the outcome should be.
While acknowledging Taylor's intellectual disability, the judge encouraged his attorneys to seek accommodations for him during the trial, which again has been set for May 4th of next year. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
11:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Ken Weaver in the newsroom. We got Mason Fleming producing. We got Charlie Kirk as Eric Cartman tonight on South Park.
You can just shut up, baby, because you hate America and you love abortion.
Oh, it's going to be good.
It's so good.
It's going to be good. A lot of people saying, I just can't watch South Park. Just can't do it.
I normally can't, but I might make an exception.
I'm going to make an exception. I'm going to make an exception. The thing about South Park is they roast everybody equally.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of that.
They'll throw hands at anybody.
But the best part is, like, you have reached the peak of American culture when South Park deems you big enough to parody.
Oh, absolutely.
Charlie Kirk changed his profile picture to Eric Cartman as him. Did you see that on X?
I didn't, but I'm going to go check it now.
I'll throw it up on the stream for
Please
you.
do.
It's
That's
just
so
good, dude. It's so funny.
It's such a great way to, like, take that, too, because it's not like, they're making fun of me. Oh, they're making fun of me.
Dude, the last thing you want to do is be butthurt about that kind of stuff. You just got to laugh at it. And that's what he's doing. Like, if you're watching on the stream,
that's so good.
He's got Cartman at the Charlie Kirk Prove Me Wrong table. Right there is the profile photo. It's awesome. Huge. Love it. So without further ado, it is time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Yeah, we do it every day at this time. It's the lightning round, where we run through all the stories we didn't have time to get to, all the stories that wouldn't make a full segment, give you a second for any last-minute hot takes, cold takes, whatever you want to say. Maybe bring up a story that we didn't talk about, a story we did talk about. You didn't have a chance to comment. Now's your opportunity. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986, right? Yeah, that's the number. I second-guess myself. Did you notice that right there?
I do that all the time.
I was like, 9986? Wait a second.
86?
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, let's start with Sydney Sweeney. Should we start with Sydney Sweeney in the lightning round?
It's a great place to start. I'm getting the most heat for it.
Everybody's upset. Everybody's so mad. Sydney Sweeney, she's just this big racist. And I don't know. I caught a lot of heat this morning. I don't necessarily think Sydney Sweeney's attractive, at least not as attractive as everybody's making her out to be. I don't believe the hype. It's a lot of hype on Sydney Sweeney.
Overhyped.
Way overhyped. She's not ugly by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not calling her that. But everybody's like, oh, this gorgeous, beautiful white girl with blue eyes and blonde hair. Ooh. She looks like one of them Aryans. It's like, dude, chill out. The joke was about the jeans. I think that all they wanted to do. But Good Morning America, very upset. Very upset.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with the backlash over a new ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
Oh my gosh, here we go again. Oh, this actress makes a commercial about jeans. Wasn't her idea. The American Eagle, they came up with the campaign. So that sounds good. I'll get paid. Yeah, let's do it. No, this is evil and racist. How could you do this? Who is going to buy those jeans? A lot of people are going to buy those jeans now.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's the Barbra Streisand effect. A lot of people are going to go in and buy those jeans. The lefties, though, they're very, very upset about it. They want to let you know that it's referencing racism. It's referencing Nazis. It's also referencing an old Brooke Shields ad that was over-sexualizing teenage girls. All these things. All these things rolled into one. And the ones that are telling us about this, I don't know if you've noticed, and maybe it's just me. A lot of them happen to be very overweight with purple hair.
I'll be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird, like fascist weird.
So weird. It's like fascist weird. This is crazy. This is insane. How could How could they get away with it? I don't know. Who cares? I will say this, though. It's been pretty funny to see some of the headlines. Like, for instance, let's just do. You want to do MSNBC? Let's do MSNBC. Okay?
Do we have to?
So let's do first a headline from 2016. Obama giving the commencement speech at Howard U. And he said, "Be confident in your heritage. Be confident in your blackness." I was like, oh, that's a good thing. Let's go. Let's see how they cover the Sydney Sweeney thing. Let's do that. Okay, this is on the top of the page on MSNBC. Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad is part of an unbridled culture shift toward whiteness. Oh. Okay.
Glad they're staying objective.
Blackness, great. Whiteness, what are you doing? How dare you? That's the Sydney Sweeney controversy in a nutshell. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Liberals are calling to boycott it, but whatever. Who cares? There's rumors that American Eagle apologized. I saw a Matt Murphy tweet. He's like, "Is this real? I don't know if it's real yet or not." If American Eagle apologizes for this, they're going to shoot themselves in the foot, because you're not going to win back any of the woke mob by apologizing. You never do. It's actually the worst thing that you could do is apologize. The best thing that you can do is double down. If I was American Eagle, I'd release a statement today, and the statement would just read, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes." That's all I would do. If they do apologize, then you're going to see backlash from the right, and you're going to see backlash from the left, and then nobody's buying jeans. Don't apologize. Never apologize to the woke mob. Double down. I got another story for you here in the lightning round. There it is. There it is. Got it.
I found the mouse.
You found it. Wired has a story about this crazy new inventor. And you know what his game plan is?
What's that?
He's going to inject bleach into cancerous tumor cells.
Ah.
And he wants to bring it to the U.S.
It is kind of a cleaning agent.
He said it'll only cost you $20,000.
Oh,
that's it. And sure, there are people that have gotten this treatment done by this doctor, and they said their cancer got worse. They said it got worse. But this guy's pushing through, and he's like, "Secretary Kennedy, what's more maha than injecting bleach in tumors?" Yes. That's what he's saying. One patient tells Wired her tumor grew faster since the procedure, and that she suspects it may have caused the cancer to spread. A claim that the inventor, Chinese inventor, Zuwu Lu.
Oh, no.
Because an X is a Z in Chinese, right?
I think it's like a zh.
Zhuwu.
Not much better.
Pretty good, though.
But pretty good.
Pretty good. One patient tells Wired that it caused her cancer to spread. A claim Zhuwu Lu disputes. While experts allege his marketing of the treatment has likely put him on the wrong side of U.S. regulations, nonetheless, Lu currently offers the treatment informally, mind you, at clinics in China and at a German clinic. And he's working now with a Texas-based former pharmaceutical executive to bring this treatment to America. Nothing's more maha than injecting bleach into your tumors. Got another story. Oh, yeah. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. I don't know. I feel like this story is pretty controversial. The former governor of the 51st state, he's got a new boo thing.
Ooh.
You want to know who it is?
I guess some part of me doesn't care, but
only the most famous female astronaut in America.
Oh,
Katy Perry.
Interesting.
That's right. Justin Trudeau, Katy Perry, spotted canoodling at a restaurant.
Canoodling.
Canoodling. That's a French term.
Yeah.
They're at a little fancy shindig. I don't know where they are, but they're on a date.
On the video on the stream, I love how the person recording it is using the mirror above the bar.
He's like low key.
To be sneaky.
There's like all sorts of ways you could be sneaky.
Oh, absolutely.
I have a friend who, if she sees somebody weird in the wild, she'll be like, "Stand next to me, let's take a selfie." And,
and snap a picture.
And she pretends that we're taking a selfie, so that way she can get a good picture.
Interesting.
That's what she does with weirdos in the wild. She probably would use a mirror too.
I wouldn't blame her.
No.
I mean, that's a smart way to do it. I just thought it was funny.
Is this a big upgrade for Justin Trudeau, or is this a big downgrade for Katy Perry? I think that's the question America wants to know.
Whenever they split, it'll be a big internet uproar regardless. I think either Canadians are going to say something like, get that American out of our country, or she'll write another album.
Yeah.
Attempt to do the Taylor Swift thing, not be as successful, go back to American Idol.
Not being as successful as Taylor Swift. That's happened many times to Katy Perry.
For sure.
That's happened many times. Well, we'll keep you updated on the former governor and the famed astronaut, Katy Perry. She's an awesome astronaut. Did you see that?
It's so dumb.
She went up there and she was like, oh my gosh, you guys.
I'm in space.
I'm in space. And then it was like, dude, you are.
And then she kissed the ground as soon as she got back.
And everybody clapped. Everybody clapped.
Because they did so well.
It was inspiring.
Absolutely.
I'm almost overwhelmed by how inspiring that journey into space was.
I think I might just be whelmed.
Just whelmed?
Just whelmed.
All right, well, let's move on. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Josh Hawley. I like Josh Hawley. Hate this idea. He's introducing a bill that would give millions of Americans $600 each from tariff revenue. We're $37 trillion in debt. Wouldn't you think that would probably be a better use of the money?
Yeah.
As opposed to sending certain Americans a $600 check that's going to be taxed anyway. So like a $450 check.
If that.
You can't even buy a PS5.
No.
You can't even buy a PS5. Senator Josh Hawley rolled out a new bill late Monday to give $600 in tariff rebates to millions of Americans, workers, and families. Days after Trump floated the idea, Americans deserve a tax rebate after 4 years of Biden policies that have devastated family savings and livelihoods. Like President Trump proposed, my legislation would allow hardworking Americans to benefit from the wealth that Trump's tariffs are returning to the country. The Republicans' American Worker Rebate Act would provide at least $600 to each adult and dependent child, with higher payments possible if tariff revenue exceeds projections for the year. Married couples who file taxes jointly and make more than $150,000 per year combined, heads of household who make more than $112,500 per year, and individuals earning more than $75,000 per year will see their rebates reduced by 5%. Tariff revenue has topped $113 billion so far in fiscal year 2025, and U.S. posted a budget surplus for June as tariff revenue soared to $27 billion. We also had record tariff revenue in July as well. I like the tariff revenue. I hate the idea of giving out free checks. I do. I mean, this is what got us into the inflation issue a while back in the first place. Plus, people are insulted. Like, it is kind of like a backhanded compliment in a sense, because you're offering Americans who bust their tail for this country, pay into the system, $600 that's going to be taxed, $450, right? Let's be realistic. But illegal aliens will get $5,000 cash cards. They'll get housing. They'll get snaps. They'll get phones. They'll get utilities assisted. They'll get free daycare. They'll get free health care. They'll get free rides to work. And I'm sure that there's a lot more that they'll get. I hate this idea. I hate it. Pay down the debt. How about you just do exactly what we said we were going to do with this tariff revenue? Let's pay down the debt. Doesn't that sound like a better idea? I feel like that sounds like a better idea. Got another story for you here in the lightning round. This one I'm calling monkey business. I labeled this one monkey business. Story here from the Wall Street Journal. The criminal enterprise run by monkeys. It's true. It's true, and it's happening in Indonesia.
Interesting.
We just made a trade deal with these guys, and I wonder if President Trump had been briefed on this, if this would have been part of the negotiation process. You know, he doesn't want to have a trade deal with Cambodia and Thailand while they're in war, but we're going to have a trade deal with Indonesia while these monkey thieves are just running around. And that's exactly what's happening. It's monkey thieves. Monkey thieves. At a cliffside temple on the tropical island of Bali, an unexpected group of criminals running around. One of the world's most sophisticated scam operations. Every week, they steal dozens of phones, wallets, and other valuable items from tourists in broad daylight and exchange them for handsome rewards. It's been going on for decades, and nobody's been able to stop it. The culprit? Long-tailed macaws. The monkeys have taken over the temple, said Jonathan Ham, a tourist from London, whose sunglasses were stolen by a monkey during a visit last year. They're running a scam. These monkeys need to be stopped. So this is the southern tip of Indonesia, vacation spot, hot spot, known for its beaches. A lot of tourists flock to the Uluwatu Temple. Uluwatu. For traditional fire dance shows and panoramic views at the sunset with the Indian Ocean crashing below. The Balinese Hindu site dates back to at least the 11th century, and the roughly 600 monkeys that inhabit it are dirty thieves. I added that part.
Okay, I was going to be like, guys, they're monkeys.
They said, in the article, they said sacred guardians of the temple. I prefer dirty monkey thieves. Primate researchers have found that the macaws stealing belongings to use as a currency to trade with humans for food. These monkeys. What are we going to do with them?
Let them keep going.
Some monkeys can distinguish between objects we highly value, smartphones, prescription glasses, wallets, and objects that we don't. Hats, flip-flops, hair clips. Some of these monkeys are really smart. Like, we're not going for the flip-flops today. We're going for prescription eyewear. and then they barter accordingly, according to a University of Lethbridge team that spent years filming this and analyzing hundreds of hours of footage. Can you imagine if that's your full-time job?
I'm monitoring monkeys.
Like, you come in, it's been a long day. It's like, these damn macaws. Hey, we can't keep letting them get away with this.
Wait, did they set up a booth at the end of the farmer's market? What are they doing?
In other words, the monkeys have unprecedented economic decision-making processes, the researchers wrote in a 2021 academic paper. Unprecedented. Monkey thieves. Just when you thought you've seen everything. Monkey thieves.
Right to jail.
Yeah. How about alligator Alcatraz for monkeys?
Right to jail. Right away.
All right. One more story in the lightning round, then we'll move on. This one is so California, it hurts. They banned styrofoam in California, and everybody's like, this is stupid. So then they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a snitch line for Californians to rat each other out. So if you see somebody with styrofoam, you can now call this California snitch line.
Get them out of here.
The public can report violations of the state's styrofoam ban for food containers. They even launched a webpage recently in order to allow for anonymous reporting of the producers of such products. Since January 2025, the production and distribution of styrofoam foodware has been banned after the law was signed by California Governor Gavin Newsom. For the continued sale of styrofoam containers, producers had to hit a 25% recycling rate. However, that standard was not met by January this year. So now you can report those styrofoam producers via a California snitch line. We kind of did this with the ice thing. I think that we should overwhelm them and just call and report a bunch of people for styrofoam. What do you think? I think it's the only reasonable way to deal with this.
Understandable.
I see styrofoam everywhere. Everywhere.
Styrofoam walls.
It's everywhere. I wake up in cold sweats. Styrofoam. Those reporting violations can then put the date of the incident as well as the business or entity information on where the styrofoam containers were found. They are also able to upload documents to support their violation report. Take pictures, take videos. Snitch on your neighbors if they dare use styrofoam. So California.
Can't have it.
That does it for today's lightning round. It's 11:55 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll check in with Chad Benson if we have a moment. On the flip side, this is Super Talk 99.7.